Please help me welcome your speaker, Francis A. Matahum.
Good day, everyone. I am Francis A. Matahum, taking Bachelor of Physical Education at Cebu Normal University. And I am here because I would like to share my words in relation to varied and opposing philosophical views in Philippine education. And thanks to the team for inviting me here. Now, I would like to ask, who among you here would like to pursue an education? All right, I can see a lot of hands. And I guess most of you here are raising their hands. And I believe we will continue our journey in pursuing teaching, right? Okay. Now, what are the primary goals of Philippine education? All right. I can see the primary goal of education, especially in Philippine education, is to socialize the young along society's belief, values, social norms, skills, and knowledge for the preservation of the existing social order. Now, in relation to traditional philosophical views, is that based of my insights, there is what we call perennialists, and they believe that the focus of education should be the ideas that have lasted over centuries. They believe the ideas are as relevant and meaningful today as when they were written. They recommend that students learn from reading and analyzing the works by history's finest thinkers and writers. And perennialist classrooms are also centered on teachers in order to accomplish these goals. The perennialist curriculum is universal and is based and on their view that all human beings possess the same essential nature. The teachers are not concerned about the students' interests or experiences. They use tried and true teaching methods and techniques that are believed to be most beneficial to disciplining students' minds. Therefore, just imagine a theater play. The teacher is the main actor. In other words, the teacher are the main players in the classroom while students are mere listeners. All right? Understood? Now, according to a study of Alps in 1973 entitled Toward a Working Philosophy of Adult Education, the advantages for traditional philosophical views, especially in Philippine education, this will develop good discipline for their students, believe that knowledge should be everlasting and students become problem solvers. Well, the disadvantages for this is it's conservative, not very flexible. Philosophy disregards technology, especially that our world today is facing technology. And last, the structured lesson and drills. Now, to sum this up, according to Adler in 1988, if the aim of education is to improve a man by forming good habits in them, and if these good habits or virtues are the same for all men, then it follows that these good habits or virtues are absolute and universal principles on which education should be founded. Now let's move on to overview in progressive philosophical view in Philippine education. As the time passed by, we are now quite open to the gradual changes of our education here in the Philippines. We embrace new ways of learning, and nowadays it is not the teacher who will always facilitate the learning, but most of the time it is the learners who will learn on their own. They talk about the progressive philosophical view in Philippine education. It said that in this type of philosophical view in our education, it promotes a learner-centered way of teaching. For example, as future educators, we all know that John Dewey's philosophy about learning by doing, which is a great example for this progressive philosophical view in education. Exemplifying the latter statement of John Dewey simply tells us that we naturally learn from what we had experienced. In a clearer visualization, we never knew that the pot was hot unless we never touched it, right? Now, let's talk about the advantages of this philosophy of education. According to TESDAL in 2019, that in this philosophical view in education expanded the sources in teaching and learning process. This means that it is not limited to what the teacher is offering to the learners, but also the learners give back the learning. Now, however, teachers as the mediators of learning, which were affected by the gradual changes of Philippine education. According to a study of Alagnuglu, Aslan, and Karabatak in 2022, that it affects how traditionally trained the teachers by their literacy to digital. Moreover, it will constrain learners from being permissible by their actions most of the time. Now, everybody is talking about opposing philosophical views. Now, at this moment, the traditional curriculum is a more linear approach to learning. But progressive curriculum includes more hands-on research, unexpected program detours, and opportunities to study in the field. Now, the traditional curriculum also entails that school prepares you for life, and that learning occurs solely within the confines of the school grounds. Whereas progressive curriculum teaches that school is just another aspect of life and that your community, your family are integral parts of the actual schooling. Now, to end this discussion, an effective teacher's teaching style does not always correspond to the student's chosen learning style. The challenge of 21st century education is to make teaching style more meaningful to the learners. Now, there is no single well-defined best way of teaching. So, there is no best teaching style and universal teaching style. And I agree with Tanner and Allen in 24 that the instructor's teaching style provides access to students' different learning styles. So teachers must have a variety of teaching style to reach students' interests. There's no way of knowing which curriculum will be the best for the students in the end. Now, what you should realize is what you are capable of providing to the students is more than enough, regardless of the curriculum it holds. Understood? Now, that ends our discussions about the overview of the philosophical view in Philippine education. Again, this is Francis Matahum, your speaker for today, and I am overwhelmed of what is going on here for sharing my thoughts. Again, this is Francis Matahum saying, Padayon magtutudlo. And have a great day, and thank you.